um, Mysteries of the Met. And oh, wow. About the show. So our show is called Mysteries of the Met. Its target demographic is children ages 4 to 7 who have an interest in art. In each episode, viewers are invited to come spend an evening with Madeline, William the Hippo, and Sir Clangsalot at the Met Museum after it is closed. And in each episode, they will learn about an artist, about a color, as well as an art making material, and be guided through an art project.
Ah, okay, there we go. Madeline. Her personality traits is she's curious and excitable. She really likes tea parties, cakes, sweets. Very much has a sweet tooth. She loves playing dress up, which you can kind of tell because she's a ballerina. Her biggest fear and biggest weakness is struggles being flexible and doesn't really like change. And her strengths, at least I think so. She is able to speak French and she's very graceful. And one of her catchphrases are, when excited or discovery is, she just twirls in a circle.
Sir Clangsalot. He is a knight in armor, which you see a lot at the Met and all kind of art museums. His personality traits and characteristics are he keeps an oil can for when he gets squeaky and rusty. He's an adult. He's one of those adult characters. He's a leader and provides guidance as needed, but doesn't always have the answers. And of course, he's British. He likes playing with his sword, jousting, sword fighting, playing chess. His fears and weaknesses are he's clumsy, he bumps into things with his sword, he's noisy because of all of his metal, so he can't be sneaky. And he has some anger problems and with dealing with frustration. His strengths are he's brave and he's good at strategy and planning. And his catchphrase is huzzah!
This is William the Hippo. He's super tiny, as is the real art. So that means that he's gonna be young because it's very nice to have like a little young boy. Look at how sweet he looks. He's yeah, right as it says, little young buddy. 7 years old. He's a bit of a goofball. He loves the color orange. That's a complimentary color. Art fact. Eating veggies. Who doesn't? Kids. That's why. Promotes the idea of eating veggies. And he loves naps. That one who doesn't, and that's true. Who doesn't like naps? He dislikes mornings. Fears and weaknesses. He's shy and meeting new people. Strengths. He's small. As I said before, he can fit into nooks and crannies. And catchphrase or action, jump, flip in the air. Because look at him go. And then my favorite part about a museum, or maybe not favorite part, that sounds kind of terrible. One of my favorite parts is the gift shop. Uh, and these are the gift shop guys. That's Bernard and Woodrow. Name's kind of self-explanatory. Yeah, Woodrow's the wood one, Bernard is the bear one. Uh, these guys, they got their own little thing going on in the museum during each episode. They're little buddies. They're gonna have their little buddy time. That's always good. I love a good duo, and these guys are a great duo.
And for our minor characters and potential celebrity guests, we thought Cher would be fun, as well as J.J. Abrams and Vera Wang. Um, and then we also thought it would be a good opportunity to have some video trip guests, so potentially segments about who makes the museum run, and features of Met Museum curators, custodians, art handlers, and all the behind the scenes people who help the museum function on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, oh, that's really true. So we start off cold open. Uh, yeah. Wait, what was I gonna say? I'm boofing this. Uh, anyways, yeah, we set the seeing the episode being invited into the museum, introduced the artist of the day, tool of the day, and the colors of the day, and then kind of just like showing you what is to come. Uh, and then you get the theme song, three main characters. That's where we meet them, and that ends with the three main characters meeting up in the grand hall for a final shot. Love a grand hall. It's grand. And then the first segment, we get the artist of the day, and then the color of the day, and then the material of the day, and then the credit. And oh wait, sorry. Uh, one of the things I thought would be good for the credits was as the credits are rolling, you'll see later on how this would happen, but audience submitted art, like the kids, the viewers. There's a way for them to submit art that will come later, but it could be showcased in the credits.
Formal features. So, there is an intro song, and during the song, the three main characters walk through the front doors of the museum. Sorry, I can't totally see that. Okay. And they dance by different famous pieces of artwork. Then each character sings their name and their artists. And at the end of the song, Bernard and Woodrow pop their heads out of the gift shop and they sing, "Don't forget about the gift shop, guys." Um, the special sound jingles, Bernard and Woodrow, since they're kind of the comic relief of the show, have a short jingle for when their segment starts, and the lyrics are, "We're the gift shop guys, we're the gift shop guys." And when it's time to introduce a specific artwork, the three main characters sing, "It's the art of the day, let's all say hooray." And then they pause for the audience to respond, and then we all say hooray. The wipe transitions, every time there's a transition to a different segment, a paintbrush swipes across the screen in a different color. Kind of sparkly harp sound accompanies the visual, maybe like a da 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 da. Um, question asking. The three main characters consistently ask questions about colors, textures, and objects. Sorry, there's a typo there. Objects displayed in the artworks. They also ask questions such as, "Can you say Picasso?" Kind of a hard word for anybody. Or, "Have you heard of Vincent van Gogh?" To keep children engaged. World building. So the show takes place in a cartoon-like animated Met Museum. And the non-cartoon component of the world centers around the actual pieces of artwork. So it's a combination of live action and animation. There will be authentic works of art, however, they will be animated and manipulated to move and speak. The characters live at the Met Museum and come alive after it closes for the day. Interior. In the main hall, the three main characters choose which exhibit they're going to explore for the day. Each door in the main atrium leads to a different exhibit. Some exhibits include modern and contemporary art, European paintings, American art, Asian art, medieval art, and Greek and Roman art, all exhibits that are actually exhibits in the real Met Museum. And multiple green doors line the hallway of the main hall. Other locations, as we've mentioned many a times before, adventures in the atrium with supportive characters from the gift shop, Woodrow and Bernard. They escape from the gift shop almost every night to cause mischief in the atrium.
Sample episodes. So the first sample episode, we'd start with cold open, intro, and then the conflict or problem is announced when Sir Clangsalot announces that today is my birthday, and Madeline responds by saying that they should make a sweet treat to celebrate, and then asks the audience, what should we make? And William says, let's look around the museum for inspiration, which leads them to the artwork of Wayne Thiebaud, who is a painter who is most well known for his paintings of cakes and other desserts. So it opens with all three characters standing in front of Wayne Thiebaud's painting Cakes from 1963, which you can see in the top right of this slide, followed by a narrated sequence with a little information about Thiebaud's life and images of his artwork. And it ends with asking the audience, what's your favorite dessert? And then the transition is William saying, all these desserts are making me hungry, and Madeline responding with the idea to have a tea party. This is then transitions into the colors of the day segment. So we see the main characters having a tea party with an array of pastel colored tea time sweets. And one of the characters makes a comment about the desserts being pastel colors, which is followed by a montage of pastel colors in real life and art that's narrated, kind of providing a little bit of context and information for the viewers about what a pastel color is and where they might see it. And then we see a little segment of mixing pastel paints. So if you look on the right in the middle, it would be a video kind of like this where you can see someone mixing together white paint with another color to create a pastel. And this is a good opportunity for our Bernard and Woodrow to be standing in front of this kind of green screen footage and commenting as it's happening and engaging with the audience. And then the final segment is the material or artist of the day. So we see Madeline and William in the art studio. The Met does have art studio space for their classes, so this could take place there. Um, and they have the idea, let's make a cake for Sir Lancelot birthday, bringing us back to that initial conflict or problem. One of them comments, but we're in an art studio, not a kitchen. So they decide to make a paper mache cake. And this is followed by a live action video of an art teacher showing the audience how to make a paper mache cake slice. And this would be accompanied by, in the app or online, some digital instructions that people could do and follow along at home. And then the episode, and in the bottom right, you can see an example of what one of those paper mache cake projects looks like when it's completed. And it concludes with Madeline and William giving Sir Lancelot the wonderful slice of paper mache cake that they made for his birthday.
This is the second sample episode. You got the cold open, you got the intro, and then you got Sir Lancelot and Madeline wondering, where's William? We were gonna have a dance party, and they're waiting, they're checking their they don't have watches, they're checking the time somehow. Uh, and they're like, where is this guy? He's down here. What? He's been there the whole time. He's just so short. They didn't realize that. Like, I'm so sorry. Then he's like, sometimes I feel bad about being different. Oh my God, breaks my heart. Um, and then they uh they take him to go see Picasso. They show him that the distinct style, may be called different, but that's what makes it so unique, special, and cool. And and then William, he sees, here, do you mind pointing at the painting with the mouse? Check that out. That's Seated Woman from 1937. And William's like, yo, she's also blue. That's awesome. I'm blue. He's feeling, even more special about that. And then we get into the colors of the day. The titular woman speaks. The titular seated woman speaks to William, and she starts talking about light blue, and they discuss their blueness and how that color is everywhere. Example, the sky, but of course this is night, and it's dark out, but whatever. And then William and Sir Lancelot and Madeline, they just have a blast. They run around the museum, they point out all the different light blues, and then they run by the gift shop, zoom in on the gift shop. Now we got the gift shop guys segment. Bernard and Woodrow are sitting in the postcard section. They're checking out visibly different styles, some diverse art styles, getting in all that different stuff. Maybe that's what the episode's about. It is. They discuss how different they are from each other. That's one of the things I love about the two items from the gift shop that would become the gift shop guys. Is one of them is a posable wooden figure, and the other is a a teddy bear. And even though that one is like softer and more bendable, like say in the real world, than a piece of wood, the wood is articulated and can like arguably move more, kind of. So they're very different but similar. Um, and they talk about how different they are from each other and how they really appreciate what the other brings into their relationship. Um, I just find that really special. It's really important to, love your friends and everything. Um, and then we go back. Then we go back to the main three for the material of the day and art activity. Uh, and they're riding this high of expressing themselves and their uniqueness. And so, what are they gonna do? The most you way you can put paint to paper or to canvas or to wherever. They start finger painting. Um, and so they're finger painting, and then we get the real life, the footage of the teaching the kids how to finger paint. And of course, William's a hippo, so we show how you can get animals involved as well. Example, paw print uh, for cats and dogs. You can see that down there, as well as not just finger painting, but fingerprint pressing. There's nothing more unique than what you got on the tips of your fingers. Those are, everyone's got a different one. So I got some example photos down there. You can see what that's up. And God Williams just enjoying this so much. He starts dancing and grooving. And then what? He's dancing and grooving. The dance party begins from the beginning when they were like, I want to have a dance party. Where's William? He brings the party. And that's sample episode 2.
Episode 3. We start off with our cold open introduction and then our conflict problem. Oh my goodness. Madeline is afraid of the dark because the moon is behind some clouds. Oh my goodness. And so Sir Clangsalot explains that maybe they can find a way to make their own light. And William says he has an idea. And so he leads Sir Clangsalot and Madeline to an exhibit. And the artist of the day happens to be Vincent van Gogh. And so they're going through the exhibit. And as they're walking through the exhibit together, William explains how Van Gogh uses many pretty colors in his painting and makes a lot of his painting with pastels and very light colors. And so he makes everything with light. And Madeline sees Starry Night and sees that there's a lot of light, physical light, coming out of the painting. She talks to the stars inside the painting about how they light up the night sky to help people find their way when they're scared. She asks if people are afraid of the dark, and, well, it happens to the best of us. The dark can be scary sometimes, but if we have light, it can help all of us. And that's what the stars shared with her. They discuss how the yellow and white make it look like a sunrise outside, and how their color can be found all over the place, either with a sunrise or a sunset. So Madeline and her buddies explore the museum, pointing out all of the yellows and the bright, glowing colors they can find. And so they find some oil paint, specifically looking for yellows and oranges and whites, to make a painting / nightlight for Madeline. And so the art activity is to make a nightlight out of yellow tissue paper and a flashlight, which is very simple because it's just tissue paper, a flashlight, and a rubber band, and being able to have that on so it feels less scary. And so she brings over her nightlight to her spot, and just getting to experience, that she might not be afraid of the dark anymore.
So our curriculum approach. So the approach of Mysteries of the Met is to present color theory, art history, and art making in a fun and engaging way for young viewers. Research shows that kids respond to animated TV programs and that characters are an effective way to increase kids' willingness to talk about artwork, learn about artists, and create their own artwork. When kids see the characters' enthusiasm toward learning about and making art, they become excited about it too. And with high energy characters, humor, animated and live action content, as well as guided art lessons, every episode is novel and engaging. Mysteries in the Met aims to address the issue of limited art education in schools and the lack of art programming for kids on television. This is especially important for low-income students, being that in public high schools, there is, and of course ours is for younger schools, but just to demonstrate the necessity, there's a negative correlation between the percentage of the student body who are eligible for free or reduced priced lunch and the likelihood of that school offering art classes. So in other words, the greater population of low-income students at a school, the less likely it is that that school offers art classes. And so the goal of Mysteries of the Met is to encourage children to talk about, create, and understand art through a multi-platform approach. Platform one being the television show itself, platform two being the website and app that will accompany the show and provides written and video guides to all of the art lessons that are featured on the show, as well as information that can be referred back to about the artists and artworks that's been discussed on the show, and resources for educators who want to use this content in their classroom. And platform three is that learners with parent permission can share their creations on the show's app. And this is then also a platform for various art-related challenges and activities that students can participate in. And the overall goal is we kind of designed it with 4 bodies of research in mind, which we will go into in the next slides. Is this one mine? Yes. So one of the first articles that we read was called Art in the Young Child, was called Implications for Early Childhood Art Education Practice. And it was a response to a previous paper called Art in the Young Child, Another Look at the Developmental Question. And the main idea is that young children, a lot of times when they draw very simplified versions and at times inaccurate versions of what they're trying to draw. And there was an assumption that this was because children saw the world in a simpler way and that their drawings were a reflection of their perception of the world. But as this paper discusses, that's not really accurate, and children do see the world in a very complex way, and their renderings are reflective of their skill level, not their perceptual ability. And that encouraging lots of different ways of drawing and realizing that children have the capacity for complex thinking, and we just need to give them the skills in order to execute what they would like to, is really valuable. And also that children experience frustration when creating art, just as adults do, and that they judge their work on its ability to accurately reflect the intended content in the same way that adults do. So it's important to support them in that process.
So the research article that I dived into is titled The Importance of Art Viewing Experiences in Early Childhood Visual Arts, the exploration of a master art teacher's strategies for meaningful art experiences. So in this article, the author explored the importance of meaningful art viewing and experiences for young children, and kind of like we've said again and again, the author addresses just the lack of quality art curriculum nationwide, in really every level of education. And like we've said, most public schools have minimal art curriculums, but they're just not comprehensive enough. So the author argues that this issue may stem from early childhood instructors, just lack of art education and availability. The research component of this article provides strategies and support for early childhood teachers to implement more art viewing experiences in their classrooms. The research from this article was actually conducted at the Denver Art Museum. They did an art camp for students aged 4 to 5, and it was about 2.5 hours a day for a week. The children, they viewed art, they made their own art, there were and then the research included field notes, transcriptions, interviews, yada, yada, yada. The results overall found that the most important aspects of art education is really, one, the teacher is actively asking questions and engaging students. They also found that it's important to leave room for children to bounce ideas off of one another and engage in meaningful discussions, as well as gameplay was seen as very beneficial.
I did my article on and research on the magic of the brush and the power of color, integrating theory into practice of painting in early childhood settings. Uh, and I love that the article went through three different distinct approaches into painting in early childhood education, including Bank Street, Reggio, and Waldorf. They all have their own unique philosophy of materials and how they essentially want you to learn to paint, and they are all very grounded in completely different educational theories. Bank Street's is more in Piaget and Dewey's methods, focusing on fostering artistic development that parallels with cognitive growth, the brain, and uses tempera paints and primary colors. It emphasizes basic aesthetic elements appropriate for preschool children development stages, which is our age group. In contrast, Reggio's approach, influenced by Vygotsky's social constructivism, views children. Can you go back?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's
I
okay.
must have accidentally bumped it. My bad.
Views children as confident learners capable of complex artistic expression. It provides abundant materials and colors, encouraging higher symbolic thinking through the painting as part of long-term projects, meaning using art as a way to long-termly express themselves. The Waldorf approach, rooted in Rudolf Steiner's spiritual philosophy, uses watercolors on wet paper to explore the intersync qualities of colors, which is very fun. It aims to strengthen children's inner sense of feelings and imagination. Ooh, imagination! Yay! Through a deeply engaging painting experience. Despite all their differences, all three approaches considered a painting are used as an integrated curriculum rather than just pushing off arts to the side, as unfortunately many schools do. But painting can be used as a powerful tool for learning, from, as an artistic expression to creating, powerful thesis and artwork.
This is the article I checked out. It is called "The Museum and Me: An Early Childhood Art Education Model." Uh, this article shows like three three different curriculum styles of teaching children. Um, let's see, empiricism, nativism, and interactionism. Empiricism is initially based on ideas of John Locke. It's that all of everything that the child will learn is predetermined, and they're just going to be like put into the child. The child is before this empty. It is a passive learner, and it will be taught through extrinsic motivation. Uh, this is how the American elementary education system uh, teaches children, um, which I think is funny because when I was reading this, I was like, "Oh, that sounds so like cruel. I don't like the way that this is talking about children." And I was like, "Oh, this is how I was taught." Um, yeah, and when teaching art, the children have very little artistic input, with the adults just telling them what to do for their art. Empiricism ignores the independence of the child in favor of in favor of the teacher being in complete control. Particularly phrased, empiricism believes that learning is taught, not caught. Nativism is kind of the opposite of that. Uh, I lost my butt. Yeah, the author writes that children are flowers that unfold in a certain way, and that in nativism there's no prescribed curriculum promoting individuality and education. Every child has a unique approach to learning, um, and that the learning is how to learn, not learning specifics. When teaching art, children are allowed to experiment with a wide variety of media and tools. And then the third one, believe it or not, interactionism is kind of an in between. It's a mix of the two. Um, it specializes in uh, you know I typed this out. I can read it. I don't know how to say it. Reciprocity. Reciprocity? Yeah.
Reciprocity?
Reciprocity?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's not what I said. That's right. Sometimes the teacher will will lead, and sometimes the student will lead. There's no structure as it's too rigid or mechanical. In a place of structure, the teacher utilizes teachable moments. Um, yeah. Uh, yeah, storage games, paying visits, music, movement, and thoughtful discussions about works of art in local galleries stimulate children to make creative responses at the art tables. History, aesthetics, and criticism components of art education are incorporated into lessons, tempo lessons, which show the ease with which these components can be integrated into children-centered learning, are included parenting community involvement in the program, and future directions for truly early childhood art education.
Curriculum goals.
Curriculum goal. Okay, so primary curriculum goal is to the overall goal is to address the lack of visual art education in public schools across the nation by providing supplemental art history and art education lessons. Like we've said this whole time, art education isn't great in public schools. We can't change that right now. So we're trying to supplement that by having this TV show. Goal number two, benefits of learning how to make a trip to the museum a lot of fun, and teaching children how to look at and talk about art. Goal number three, the benefits of teaching color theory, which are enhancing visual literacy, understanding basic primary and secondary mixing ideas. Goal number four, the benefits of teaching art history, learning basic global history as well as based on the content and creator of the artwork. Goal number five, encourage children and parents. Sorry, our little faces are in the way of me reading. Encourage children and parents to participate in tactile art lessons offered at the end of each program, helping create meaningful hands-on experiences and creative bonding between parent and child.
Secondary curriculum goals, literacy. So our characters are going to be helping viewers read artwork. I want to say that's supposed to be descriptions on the walls of the museum, and certain specifics will be spelled out on the screen. So this painting is Picasso, and then we'll be learning actually how to spell the artist name. We're also going to be touching on executive function. So it encourages children, mysteries of the Met encourages children to create artwork outside of the TV show. We're also going to be using verbal working memory. Children are encouraged to answer questions from the characters when directed. And special characters reappear throughout the show to keep content new and entertaining. Motor skills. Activities at the end of the program, tactile art lessons for parents and children will help with basic motor skills such as cutting with scissors, manipulating objects, holding a pen or pencil, drawing, hand-eye coordination, picking up very small objects, peeling stickers and placing them in a certain location, threading and lacing, pasting and gluing, etc.
All right. We have an app, and on the app, as you can see, a beautiful rendition of what the app would look like. Thank you. You got the mystery of the week in the top left. You watch a video about the artwork presented on this week's episode, and learn new fun facts that weren't mentioned in the show. So just an extension of the learning. And you got artists and artwork to the right of that. Thank you for moving the mouse around on that. That's very helpful. You learn more about the artists and artwork featured on show days, where you can find featured artworks at the Met, so you can try and check out the catalog that they have there. Then you got the do it at home projects. PDFs and videos with instructions for the art projects featured on the show. And then, of course, as I teased before, to share your work. This is how you can uh, share um, your artwork as a viewer um, that can get featured on the credits. Now, one of the reasons we have this app for this is because social media is not necessarily a good place for preschoolers. And so this app is its own uh, network and all that jazz. It is carefully uh, observed. Every post is like screened before it actually would get uploaded to make sure that it's user friendly, to make sure it's just the artwork. It for like child safety, it would not if there's like an actual face in the artwork, or not in the artwork, like if there's an actual face in the photo, maybe next to an artwork. So imposing shouldn't have the actual kid in there. Just for their safety. All very, very precautious. And then even so, it would work somewhere like a social media. You could comment, but it would be limited to um like pre-select. You could like pick from like pre-selected phrases or just emojis and that sort of stuff. But of course, it would be a social media for the parent audience because you gotta advertise, and that's a lot of where advertising is nowadays. So you got Instagram, Twitter, you got features from art educators and artists, and highlight museums across America. Oh, it's great. And then toys, yes, yes, please. Um, Available online or in the Meta gift shop. Yeah, characters, stuffies of the characters. Everyone loves a stuffy. Let me see, got Pam. I got two on my bed right now. Um, and then our project kits. Um, yeah, because it's all about getting the kids to do more art. Met creates Mystery of the Mets art classes for kids and families. Mysteries of the Met guided family tours of the artists and artwork featured on the show.
Yeah, and just to elaborate on
Thing.
that, Met Creates is the Met's pre-existing art education program. So Mysteries of the Met combined with Met Creates would be kind of like show sponsored classes offered at the Met. So it integrates well into what the Met already has in their offerings.
There you go.
Creators.
Cheers. Well, that's me and my pie.
It's a great picture.
Kate, I guess I'm going to be talking in third person. Kaiten, I use she, her pronoun, is a senior from Los Angeles, California. At Sarah Lawrence, Kaiten focuses on creative writing, music, and education, concentrating specifically on classical opera singing and nonfiction writing. Her biggest dream is to become a middle school English teacher. She's planning on pursuing her master's in teaching secondary English this spring. Her favorite word is the Italian word for crocodile. I studied abroad in Italy this semester,
Nice.
last semester. Coccodrillo, and her favorite color is pink, obviously. She has recently started making pies obsessively with elaborate crusts, coping. Um, some of her favorite children's TV shows include Arthur, Caillou, and Zaboomafoo.
Oh, next it's me. Yay. Lauren is a Jersey girl. No, not from the Jersey Shore, before you ask. But from Flemington, New Jersey. She's currently a junior at Sarah Lawrence, she's studying film production, child psychology, education, and screenwriting. Already has TV show creator under her belt, creating Ancient Warriors Legacies of Olympus, and currently in its second season before heading into a blockbuster feature film. Lauren has aspirations of getting her PhD in developmental psychology and working in children's television as a researcher and maybe as a voice actor. Her favorite TV shows are Power Rangers, Dinosaur Train, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and Seymour's Playhouse.
Oh, hailing from North Hollywood, California, is Cooper. Cooper is a sophomore student at Sarah Lawrence College and is really liking it so far. He just transferred from Northridge, where he did not like it. Cooper studies focus on film production, specifically writing and directing. He has always had an affinity for children's television and is an avid viewer of many programs. Some of his favorites are Clarence, Batman the Animated Series, Crashbox, Pickle and Peanut, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, and the Peanut Special cartoons, which just last week I watched the Thanksgiving one because you have to.
Perfect.
Tradition.
Yeah. And then last but not least is me, Sophie Hammond. Uh, she or they pronouns, and I'm originally from Kansas City, Kansas, and I moved to New York to attend Sarah Lawrence, where I'm currently a second semester senior, so I'm graduating in like a week and a half. Woo, so exciting. I'm also an art teacher and a one-to-one assistant at the Shirley Anania School in Tribeca, which is a school for neurodiverse elementary students. My primary area of study at Sarah Lawrence has been visual arts, with kind of a secondary interest in psychology. And my hope and goal in life is to be an art educator. Some of my favorite childhood TV shows are Binka the Cat, Crashbox, and Sabumafu. And then these are just our wonderful references.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, yeah.
Yay. I'm